On today's episode of an old versus new of a Transformer toy I waited way too long to get for no real good reason, it's KICKBACK, the Titans Return Legends class versus the Legacy Deluxe class. KICKBACK's a cool Decepticon boy. I like him. I like KICKBACK. I was kind of hesitant, though, to get the new KICKBACK. The main reason is I'm so happy with this one, and the fact that, he's an Insecticon. I was like, it makes more sense for the Insecticons to be smaller. But, in G1, they're pretty average size. So I was thinking, and I'm like, you know what? I should probably get the new Insecticons. Mostly because, hey, I can use my old ones to just be like the army builders, pretty much. I can just have them in insect mode, and they're like the little, insect clones of the Insecticons. They'll still have a purpose in my collection, but, now I'll have the proper, larger character versions. And hey, we start off with KICKBACK, and I gotta say, the new KICKBACK is very, very nice. I actually did get the mold first as Ransack. I just thought the Ransack looked cooler, and I was like, if I only have one, I want to get the Ransack in this box set. So after I got it, I'm like, yeah, it's a pretty solid toy. So I went back and I got KICKBACK, and yeah, I'm pretty happy with both of these. I think they're both pretty solid options for KICKBACK. I really like them. If you want a smaller one, here you go. If you want a more, larger, slavishly G1 KICKBACK, here you go. So yeah, let's just get into it. So obviously, one is a Little Legends class boy, now known as Core class, and one is a Deluxe. One retailed, about $10, and another about $20-25. I can definitely see, the size, the scale difference here. I think that for the Insecticons, I think the Deluxe class really works well. Like, looking at KICKBACK here and seeing the pictures of Shrapnel, I think this works. I'm really excited to see what Deluxe class Bombshell looks like, because he's probably my favorite. I mean, who doesn't love Bombshell? This one, though, when this came out in Titans Return, I thought this Little Legends one was pretty good. Definitely, the color scheme isn't super accurate. Like, the entirely purple arms, not really. The head sculpt kind of leaves a little bit to be desired. Getting in a little close on that. You can see it's just a little lacking, I guess. I don't know, like, they didn't paint the visor at all. The nose is black like the visor. That might be what the problem is. But it still looks all right. It does have, like, an opening cockpit, so it can kind of replicate the whole G1 gimmick of being like an original Diaclone toy with a pilot in it. But now it's kind of for Titan's Return, so you could put a Titan Master in there and have them kind of ride the insect. One thing, and I'm sure I'm going to get a lot of flack for this, I've seen that this one has a hinge right here. So I've thought, like, does this also come out? But I found no way to remove this. You can see it's kind of tabbed in on the sides. So I've seen that, like, it almost looks like a hinge, and I'm thinking, I don't really think that's a hinge. I think it's just how it's connected in there. They just kind of put it in like that. Because I can't figure out a way to open that up. I mean, I don't really know why you'd want to. There's nothing inside. But yeah, I mean, looking at the pins, it might hinge, but I don't think it's supposed to. So I have not found out a way to open this. I don't think it does, but it kind of replicates the whole clear body. Still, I think this looks really nice. I like the clear bodies on Insecticons. I kind of think this one's cool, though, because you can actually open it and it has a feature. This, though, just bugs me because it looks like you can, but I don't think you can. If you can, cool. I don't see how you can, given how it seems like it tabs in on the side there, like, very securely, and how there's no real way to, like, peel it and open it up, because I've tried. It just doesn't. If it's supposed to, it doesn't. I don't think it does, but I just wanted to point that out. But this Little Legends one, it's really cool. I don't know, just looks like a little insect boy. I mean, it's very ball joint heavy. It's pretty much what you would expect from a Little Legends class guy of, like, the era, 2017-ish. But he's really cool, though. Like, look at these poses you can get him in. He's pretty solid. I feel like his long, spindly limbs kind of lend themselves to, like, an insectoid guy. The wings, I feel like, are still pretty well preserved on the back there. It's a cool figure. I really enjoy it. There's not too much to say about it, though, because it is just a Little Legends class guy at the end of the day. But it's nice. It does have a more distinct head than more proper kickbacks, like even that one. I feel like this Little Legends one has a way more distinct insect head. Just kind of transforming it a little bit. You can see, wow, it's actually a little bit of an insect instead of just the head turned around, but we'll see that. We'll see that in a minute. Yeah, he's got really nice head articulation. He's got ball joint, nothing at the waist. Be mindful of the shoulders because they can drop down for transformation. Ball joint, hinge technically, but it's mostly for transformation at the foot. Yeah, pretty well articulated. He didn't come with anything. I mean, he came with probably a little Titans Return character card, but literally, who cares? Yeah, nice little guy. I like it. You know, I knew that this would definitely stay in my collection. I was something like, I was thinking something like, you know, why do I need the big one if I already have these and I'm really happy with these? But I was like, let me check this out. And I'm very happy I decided to kind of upgrade, I guess, because I feel like this just serves a way better purpose for my Transformers collection, where it's kind of going. I think this is just, it's just better. It's more kickback, pretty much. You know, the head is so much more iconic kickback. He's got that nice big Decepticon symbol right dead center in his chest. I love the black and the purples. The paint on the legs looks nice. His gun's really cool. Very accurate to G1. Love the gun. And I actually love the color difference, too. Like the silver and the purple. I think that's kind of cool looking. He also came with this weapon, because at the start of Legacy, I don't really think they're continuing this too much. They all had, like, clear weapons. That was, like, the gimmick. And what Kickback's got are, like, these wing things. So you can, like, separate these. And they're, like, wing blades or whatever. You can, like, plug them on his arms. You can plug them on the wings. And, yeah, it's neat. It's something. I personally am never going to use them for Kickback. I just don't really think they serve much of a purpose for him. But I feel like if you combine them like this, you know, the hole in the peg, if you put them together, what you end up with is like this super cool looking sword weapon. I don't really think it... Yeah, it looks cooler like this. You know, it's almost like you could have a character hold it right there. And it's almost like this big old, like, Dark Energon raw blade. It's like Megatron just pounded some Dark Energon into the shape of a blade, and he just uses it. I might give this to, like, some sort of Megatron or something. Because it's cool looking. They're cool, but I just don't really think they make too much sense for Kickback, and especially the context of this being a very G1-y Kickback. Because, I mean, setting these off to the side and looking at this, like... Here, let me just get it in that classic, like, G1 character pose. Like, look at that. That's G1 Kickback right there. That is G1 Kickback. It's really nice. His articulation, ball joint at the head. You can move his antenna. He's got universal joints at the shoulders. He can move his wings, too, but that's for transformation. Bicep swivel. He has one single elbow at the... elbow, I guess. One single hinge is what I tried to say. But for transformation, he's got like this secondary hinge. So you can get it even more. But it starts looking a little funny. Nothing at the wrist except for a hinge for the transformation. But it kind of, you know, leaves this little insect part going up. It kind of works, though, for the gun. If you want to, like, point the gun a little bit. Almost give him, like, this military-looking pose with it. It looks kind of funny, like this big robot insect man holding his gun in a more, like, proper militaristic way. Transformers, gotta love it. Waist swivel, universal hips, thigh, standard knee bend, and he's got a toe for articulation, which I feel like is a genuine point of articulation there, but he has an ankle hinge, which I feel like is more important for a Transformer having that nowadays. So yeah, like throwing him into a pose. Here, let's get that toe hinge in motion, too. You can see he's pretty poseable. I would say one of the only issues is, like, this hinge thing at the arm. I wish it would tab in, because it kind of just friction fits. But it'd be nice if those tab together, because I feel like that's kind of easy to knock out of place. But yeah, using that ankle pivot and the toe articulation, you can get yourself a pretty cool pose for Kickback. He's really nice. He's really nice. I really like this one. I'm looking forward to see how Shrapnel turns out. Alright, so let's transform him. The fact that he turns into basically like a a grasshopper type guy, not too much really happens. So bear with me, because it's, you know, it's a grasshopper man. There's, like I said, not really much you can do with a grasshopper robot man, because it's a grasshopper robot. You know, like, what do you want me to do? So, like, the legs just kind of form the back legs on these. So you get the arms underneath the insect in some way. I'm pretty sure that's how it's supposed to go. They don't really tell you how to align the arms, so that's pretty much how it's supposed to go. And when I say they don't tell you, I'm meaning, like, clues in the toy. Like, there's no pegs or anything that I'm really seeing that tell me where to put them. But there we go. That's pretty much it. It's pretty much the insect mode. You can see the legs are the legs, and then those legs are legs. It does have a more insect head, though, which is nice. Very insecty head. But yeah, this is pretty much how he'll live in my collection for the rest of his life. Just as an insect boy, you know, sitting around, chilling around, doing his insect thing. And let's see how this one goes. Because it's a pretty similar story of just the robot kind of laying down and, like, taking a slightly different shape. Because, I mean, it's an Insecticon. What else is it really supposed to do? So, let's raise those up. I do have to say the head on the little one, in my opinion, is much better. Because that one, like, yeah, you can tell it's supposed to kind of be an insect, but you kind of lose me after a while. You kind of lose me. So I think with the transformation on this one, you're supposed to have the larger arm section facing forward. Don't quote me on that, because you can kind of have it either way. The beauty about Transformers is that you can do it however you want. Some people are like, oh, you gotta follow the instructions. Pfft, who cares? Who cares? Have you heard of fan modes? You know, just do it how you want, man. And then, similar to the small one, the little sub-legs just flip out of the robot mode legs. And then these just kind of go back, and there we go. It's pretty much the robot laying down, but, I mean, it's not much you can really do with this kind of transformation, this kind of figure, you know? It's just, there's your insect. He's an insect boy. You can put the gun on the guy right there. And they do kind of leave a bit of an empty spot, so that'll kind of stick out from underneath. And if you want, you can take these and put them on the wings like I showed earlier, but, you know, why would you want to do this? Because it looks kind of weird and ugly. You know, don't really like that. I guess it adds a little bit of color, but I wouldn't recommend doing that. So there we go, old versus new on Kickback. He's a little insect boy. Which one do I prefer? The new one, probably. But I like them both, and they both definitely have a spot in their collection. Like, this one, I think, actually has a better insect mode. I genuinely think so. Like, this one really just looks like the robot mode, just kind of doing a, you know, bit of a stretch, I guess. Kind of doing the crab walk that we did when we were kids. You know, that's kind of what it looks like it's doing. But yeah, it's a cool figure. I really enjoy it. I almost feel like there's something I'm missing with this guy. You know, I almost feel like I'm not doing something right just because it does so little. But no, that's it. There we go. So there we go, guys. There is my old versus new on Titans Return Legends class versus Legacy Deluxe Kickback. Let me know which one you prefer. Do you think the Insecticons are better for, like, the Legends/Core class? Or do you think a Deluxe class and more slavishly G1 is the way to go for these guys? Because, I mean, we're getting a new Shrapnel here soon in Legacy Evolution. But we have to remember the last Shrapnel we got was a Legends class nearly a decade ago. So when I do the old versus new on that one, it's going to be kind of interesting. It's going to be interesting seeing where a whole 10 years and a whole size class up has kind of brought that character. Alrighty, though, there we go. Thank you guys so much for watching. Special shout out to the patrons at Patreon as well. Thank you all so much for your continued support. Alrighty, have a good one, guys, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.